Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with Toffees on this November 21st, 2014. My name is Toffees, as always, bringing you the morning news on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can follow me at Toffees_Dota2 for updates on upcoming tournaments and things of that nature, as well as a few new projects that we're working on. If you want to support the show, you can head over to patreon.com/Toffees. That's patreon.com/Toffees. And give us whatever you want, whether it's $1 or $5 or just words of kindness. Anything that helps us support the show helps bring you the best in Dota 2 news. Now, we did have a guest lined up for today, and Andrew Ziori Campbell was supposed to be joining us on the show. Everything was prepped for him, but I do believe that he may have slept through his alarm clock. That said, we can't wait all day, so we're going to have to get it rolling. If he does make it in, we'll throw him right into the interview portion of the show. If not, we will reschedule him for later on, maybe next week. So sorry about that, guys. If you tuned in for the Ziori interview, I feel bad about it, but there's not much that we can do. So let's go straight into it. I will tell you this, that in honor of Ziori, I'm doing a test launch on a brand new Dota 2 radio-style sportscast that is going to be found at MIXLR. That's mixler.com/DotaFM. And we're going to start out with some Dream League games today, see how it plays out, see if people like it. So if you're bored and you want to see, maybe support an audio-only stream, check that out today. It should be a lot of fun. All right, let's talk about pro news. The first piece of pro news is RRQ. I think you say it Rex Regum Quan. I have no idea. I don't speak whatever language it is. It looks like Latin. Has reformed their team. They are going to form a new roster led by Koala, made up of Koala, Nivis, Zing, Indigo, and Phoenix. This team is on the SEA scene. They were around for a long time and then broke up. They haven't been on the scene for a hot minute, but they're famous, most famous, I should say, for their usage of Meepo in competitive play. It is pretty strong the way that they play. I don't think they have Ritter on the team this time around, but the fact of the matter is they've always been willing to do some crazy drafts or try some new things, so they should be a lot of fun as they enter the burgeoning SEA scene. That's it for pro news. There's not a lot of big news in terms of pros because of what's going on in Dream League right now. I expect some shifts afterwards, but for the time being, everything stays as it is. Tournament news, however, we can go into, and that is to say Dream League update. Things are underway in Dream League. There's two more days to go. 3 days to go as everyone fights for their position to get out of the studio rounds. Right now, 4 anchors and a C captain. 4 ASC is doing well. They're 7-7, rocking the split, so they're at the top of the list if you look at the actual stack chart. But keep in mind, they have played the most games. The best win record right now is Tinker, Cloud9, and VPP. They have the most wins compared to losses. So that's kind of what we have to look at as games played. EG is at the bottom of the stack list that I'm showing you, but that's because they're 2-2 prior to today. They have a lot of games going on, which means that that's probably going to change. In fact, EG has already taken their first 2 games today against MVP, which makes them 4-2 and moves them significantly up that list into 4th place. So they've got 2 more going up against VPP. If they can take both of those games off Virtus Pro Polar, they'll move into first position, and Virtus Pro will drop pretty significantly. So the big dog teams haven't had a chance to play all their games. That's going to come up over the next day or two. So keep an eye on it as it moves forward. Let's see. Now we are looking at, that's going to be a great one. So check that out. There's at least 3 games today, and we should be covering that on the FM channel. So if you go to Dota FM, which is going to be live, that will be covering a couple of the games today as we run the test trial on that new system. All right, now let's move over to the next piece of news, the Gigabyte Challenge. A small tournament, but worth noting, the winner was Empire. Empire, the Russian team, beat Duza, the Russian team, in an all-Russian final. Empire took a comfortable 2-0 win, walks out with 1,500 euros. It's about $2,000 US. For those of you who are North American fans or like the US dollar as far as conversion is concerned, Team Empire, not a surprise to win. They went up against a lot of teams that were really comfortably beaten by Empire. The fact of the matter is Empire used to be a tier 1 team. They're sitting in the tier 2 now. And these tournaments are great for them because they still have that sort of tier 1 ability and experience to come out and take wins from these other teams. So they're going to go ahead and lock that up. Next piece of news comes out of Starladder. Update on the SEA scene, because that's the one that's in full swing right now. Invasion is looking pretty gosh darn good. They've got 6 wins and 1 loss, putting them at 6 points. But really the story of the SEA Starladder so far has been the story of the has and the has-nots. And if you look at that split, right now the top 5 teams, I should say, are 6-1 Invasion, G-Guard is 4-1, Rave is 4-1, and Departure is 3-0. On the opposite side, XCTN, MVP, Myth, these guys are all losing way more than they're winning, and it's putting them in a really tough situation. So SEA, the top 4 are going to be looking to compete, I think, as this thing moves forward, and those will probably be the only games that are exceptionally relevant. So kudos to Invasion, G-Guard, Rave, Departure for stepping up and putting the good games together. Unfortunately, I wish there was more competition for those teams in the SEA. We're starting to see a real separation of the top teams from the bottom teams in that particular region. Next piece of one up is the XMG update, guys. This is the captain's draft, $255,000 on the line. So a lot of folks going to be loving on this thing. Right now, the teams that are confirmed, top 4, by the way, move to the finals, is going to be Team Secret and Virtus Pro. Boom, they're through. They made the top 4. Virtus Pro has had some issues with roster, doing really well, and we can attribute that to this. They took it seriously from day 1, when a lot of other teams thought, hey, kind of clowny, let's have some fun with this tournament. So because of that, they have secured their position advancing into the finals. Now it is a battle. Team Tinker looks like they should be pretty gosh darn comfortable. They're 8-4 with 12 games played, so they've got 2 in hand over competitors like EG, and look like they should have no trouble barring some crazy moves to advance deeper into this tournament. EG is the story of this tournament, though. They're at 6-8. That means they've got more losses than wins. They've played 14 games, so they are 2 games away from elimination. I believe they have 2 games left. They have to win both to be in contention, but it could be very, very tough for them. So they may not make it. Navi and PR are going to be scraping to try and make their way in. Navi does have the ability to do it if they win out the remainder of their games. Tough order, but not impossible. So it looks like it's going to be Tinker and then potentially Navi is taking that position away from EG, as those two, EG and Navi, are going to fight for that last spot. So that should be fun to watch as they move forward. Also, by the way, that last game that EG plays, the 2 that they've got to win to advance over Navi, is going to be against Team Tinker. So it's not a pushover game. This is going to be a legit throwdown. And for 250 grand, you have to guess that is going to be a very, very, very competitive game. Last piece of news: Beyond the Summit has done their giveaway for the ticket bundles. 20 people have received their tickets. If you signed up for that tournament, go over to their website at beyondthesummit.tv and see if your name was drawn in the top 20. That's basically our roundup for the tournaments, guys, and that's our pro news. I had a good 45-minute show planned for us today with some interview stuff on it. Unfortunately, like we said, Zaiori unable to make it for whatever reason. Assume there was an issue maybe at the Beyond the Summit house. We'll get that rescheduled, put together. But at the end of the day, that's the show. That's what I've got for you guys. I thought we'd have a big, long back section after the news, so that's what we prepped out. A big thank you to the guys for listening, for you coming anyway. If you were here to see Zaiori, my biggest apologies. But the news is the news, and you got to get it out. Keep in mind, you can follow me at Toffees_Dota2. You can support this show as well as the launch of Dota FM at patreon.com/Toffees. And of course, if you want to try out this new thing, so basically what it is I came up with this idea. Actually, I think Zaiori came up with the idea a long time ago, and I sort of stole it once he moved on to bigger and better things. The idea that what we can do is provide a audio-only stream that you can listen to at work, school, travel, wherever you want to be, a lower bandwidth so it doesn't cost you a ton of data on your phones. It has an Android app and it has a iPhone app as well as Windows programs. It's a lightweight program, and you can get it at mixlr.com, and that is Mixlr, mixlr.com. If you add a /DotaFM to that, you will find our show channel all set and ready to go, and we're going to get that up and running over the next week or two so that you guys can get audio-based streams of your favorite pro games and take that radio to the next level. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks for spending time. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Toffees. As always, we'll get these up as quickly as we can. Thanks for spending the morning with me, and Toffees out.